Hey guys, welcome to my channel Mystery Cap. Today I'm going to explain Netflix series Lock and Key Season 2. Season 2 starts with Gabe and Eden now possessed by a demon, going into the sea caves to look for Whispering Iron while Kinsey is spending time relaxing use the head key. Tyler is spending time with Jackie and Bodhi tested out a new key called the Hercules key, which gives the user superhuman strength. Duncan also moves into the key house with the rest of the Locke family and will learn that his fiancée Brian will be leaving to stay in Tokyo for 6 months. In addition, they also reveal that they plan to get married. We also see the premiere of the Savini Squad's movie The Splattering, which is being held at a local theater. Scott is also at the premiere, after secluding himself for most of the summer editing the film along with his new friend Abby. And during the movie, Eden loses her control and kills a man. Though Gibbs helps her cover it up, but he knows that he cannot rely on her. And at the after party, Scott tells Kinsey that he applied for a film program at Rochester College in England and he will be moving away if he gets selected. Kinsey also feels a bit jealous seeing Scott with Abby, while Jackie starts forgetting the magic of the keys as her 18th birthday is quickly approaching, and Tyler is worried about the same. Meanwhile, Gabby and Eden take over a cabin in the woods as their operating base and they melt down the Whispering Iron they obtain to make a key of their own. They test out their newly made key, but it does not have the effects they desired. And with only one Whispering Iron left to make the key, Gabe wants to be sure on how to make it, and he thinks that Locke might know how to make one. On the other hand, with the schools opening after summer, Nina starts her new job renovating the school theater at Matheson Academy, and she meets the new history teacher, George Bennett, and they have a rocky start while Bod becomes friends with a new girl, Jamie, and he tells her about the keys, and we find out that her father is George Bennett, and he has a replica of the key house in his study. Abby is also let in on the secret of the keys as they plan for their next movie, and there is some friction in the group. When they learn that Scott might be moving away, Gab tries to know more about the keys from Kinsey, and she lets him know that she does not know much but reveals to him how the ghost key helped them talk with Chamberlain Locke. Kinsey, in order to know more about Gabe, wants to use the mind key on him, but he pushes back and this upsets Kinsey and she asks him to leave. Gabe returns to key house when Kinsey was away. The body gives him the ghost key so he can try it out, and the ghost Gabe visits Chamberlain Locke and asks him how to make a key. Chamberlain tells him that he must infuse the key with the intention of what he wants to do, and he must also offer a drop of blood as a sacrifice, while Kinsey and Tyler visit Aaron at the psychiatric hospital. As Kinsey remembered that Ellie told them that they found a way on how adults could remember the magic, and thus they use the head key on Aaron so they can learn how they remembered magic as adults. And inside Aaron's head, they find a younger version of Aaron who has been trapped inside for 23 years. And as they bring her out from her head, Aaron finally regains consciousness, and we find out that 23 years ago a housekeeper found Aaron using the head key, and she accidentally dislodges it, inadvertently trapping Aaron inside of her own head. Aaron moves into key house with them until her trust fund comes through. Meanwhile, Bodhi found a small key, and when he visits Jamie at her house, she shows him that she has a dollhouse version of key house. And they figure out that when the small world key is inserted into the dollhouse, anything that occurs in the dollhouse also happens in the real key house. And when Nina notices the replica of her house, Josh lets her know that he is a history buff and found the key house replica in an antique store. While at school, Scott lets Kinsey know that he is not with Abby and they are just friends, and Gab, seeing Kinsey and Scott getting close, decides to draw a wedge between them and asks Eden to use the music box to control Scott, and she makes him attack Gabe. And as Kinsey tried to check if her music box was home, Eden was able to keep it back using the anywhere key. Though she kept the box back in time, she lost the anywhere key as Duncan kept it with him. Gabe and Eden make their second attempt at making the key, but the key explodes, ruining their last piece of Whispering Iron, and Gabe knows that Chamberlain Locke played with him. Back in the key house, they are attacked by a giant spider, and Bodhi knew that the spider was in the small key house, and he calls Jamie to help them out. Going through this experience and seeing Duncan having no memories of past events, Aaron feels guilty and responsible, and she tells them that Duncan created a key that made adults remember magic before they removed his memories. In addition, she wants to give Duncan his memories back, and Taylor and Kinsey agree to it and do the needful. Having his memories back, Duncan shows them the anywhere key he found, and the Locks are not sure how he got it, but Duncan struggles to adjust to the return of his lost memories, resulting in extreme mood swings, headaches, and hallucinations, causing the Locks and Aaron to realize that his best chance at a full recovery is to find the memory key. And Aaron shows Tyler from her memory where the key might be hidden. On the other hand, Kinsey, struggling with her feelings, decides to retrieve the embodiment of her fear, and she puts it back into her head. Josh hosts a social night, and he reveals to some of his students that his ancestor was a soldier in the British Army during the American Revolutionary War. And Gabe thinks that Josh has a piece of whispering iron, steals it. Kinsey's mistrust of Gabe increases when she catches him with Eden, while Tyler, using the Anywhere key, takes Jackie to England on her 18th birthday. However, she soon forgets the magic and she becomes disoriented and wants to go home. Gabe, now having a whispering iron, visits house in search of the music box in order to force Kinsey to make a key for him. But when he learns that Duncan had made a key before, he decides to help Tyler to search for the memory key so Duncan can restore his memories properly. And they were able to find the key beneath a bench outside Madison Academy. Meanwhile, Bodhi uses the Anywhere key to visit Rufus in Nebraska, where he learns from Rufus that there were two dodges on the night of the shadow attack on the key house. While Kinsey attends a party where she makes amends with Scott, Kinsey also decides to talk with Eden to know more about Gabe, but Eden passed out and Kinsey decides to enter her mind and ask Scott to stand guard. Kinsey and Scott learn that Eden is a demon, and they also find out that Gabe is Dodge. Back at the key house, Tyler and Aaron use the memory key on Duncan and successfully reintegrate his lost memories. Kinsey informs them about Gabe and Eden, and Board also returns from Nebraska and tells Taylor and Kinsey that there were two Dodges on the night of the shadow attack, and they figure out that they must have thrown Ellie through the black door instead of Dodge. On the other hand, Nina and Josh spend some time together and are getting close to each other. At the key house, Board and Duncan hear whispering, and it leads them to a chain key. Tyler, Kinsey, and Board decide to keep the return of Duncan's memory a secret until they can come up with a plan to take down Gabe. And in order to keep up the appearances, they go to the annual Winterfest. Kinsey, though afraid, but was able to control her fear in front of Gabe, while Tyler tells Jackie that he can use the memory key on her so that she can remember all the magic of the keys again. But Jackie refuses, believing it is better to move on. Back at the key house, Aaron takes the chain key for herself so that she can defeat Dodge on her own. And Aaron confronts Gabe in the snow maze, but Eden helps him, and he chokes her to death and buries her using the planet key. And the Locks were not able to save her, and they realize that they must take matters into their own hands. Kinsey calls Gabe and tells him that the memory key finally worked for Duncan and that he could come over the next day. Duncan, Tyler, Kinsey, and Board hold a memory ceremony for Aaron in the woods, and Scott also arrives to help them out. As they come up with a plan to defeat Gabe, Gabe and Eden arrive at the key house, believing that they will be filming the sequel to The Splattering. As Gabe films with Scott, and Kinsey, Jamie uses the dollhouse to trap Eden under a giant glass, but she is interrupted by Josh, and Eden was able to get out, while Tyler uses the Anywhere key to open a door to the well house, where Gabe can be destroyed, and they try to push him in. But Gabe uses the chain key to push them back, and he captures Bodhi and takes Duncan with him to the cabin using the Anywhere key and leaves Eden behind. But she was able to escape from the key house. Tyler, Kinsey, and Scott were able to find the cabin's address on Eden's food delivery receipts, and they drive to the cabin to save Duncan and Bodhi. At the cabin, Gabe threatens to kill Bodhi, and Duncan agrees to create Gabe's demon key, and the key turns its victim into a demon and a slave, and Gabe tests it on Harvey. Gabe releases Duncan and Bodhi but sends Harvey to kill them. But Tyler, Kinsey, and Scott arrive just in time, and they were able to save Duncan and Bodhi. The Locks attempt to protect their remaining friends from Gabe as he uses his new demon key to turn people into demons. But their efforts fail as Gabe was able to turn Jackie into a demon, and Tyler knows that they must craft a new key to separate the demons from the soul. And this is when they realize that they have one more whispering iron hidden in their father's old fishing lure, and with only Tyler hearing the whispers from the metal. Duncan reveals that Tyler must craft this new key himself as the metal is speaking to him, and he will guide him. This is when we learn the history of the key house and the Locke's back in 1775. Captain Frederick Gideon attacks the key house, which was being used by the Continental Army to build and hide weapons from an American Revolutionary War, and he killed Peter Locke as he tried to save his family. But before he could kill the rest of his family, he is forced to flee to the seaside caves as the local militia intervenes. Gideon's touch causes the portal to open in the cave, infecting Body, Gideon, and another soldier with demons. While one demon is pushed back, Gideon is captured. Benjamin Locke, using some of the whispering iron left behind, crafts the black door, and the Omega key is still away the portal. Gideon was also hanged for his crimes, but he warned that the evil is not over yet. And we also learned that he is the ancestor of Josh. Back in the key house, Gabe visits Kinsey and gives her a day to become a demon, or he will kill Nina. While Tyler, with the help of Duncan, crafts the Alpha key, which can unlock the demon from a person's soul. And at school, Eden kills Harvey, who has been spying on her for Gabe, and she takes the Anywhere key. She has also been pushing George to get the Omega key from the key house, as she can show him what he has been looking for. And in order to assure him of its existence, she takes him to the black door in the caves. But Gabe does not want more demons out, as they won't be in his control, shows up at the caves and uses the Crown of Shadows to bring down the cave. Eden was able to escape, but Josh is trapped. Warren Jamie rescues Josh using the Hercules key, and Josh quickly forgets everything about the magic. The destruction of caves caused the door to open, and Ellie, turned in Dodge, returns back and closes the door before getting out from the caves. And at the key house, an unseen ghost leads Kinsey and Scott to the Angel key, and they think it is Chamberlain, but indeed it was Sam. Tyler, having the Alpha key, meets Jackie in the woods and uses the key to evict the demon from her soul, though he was able to eject the demon. But Jackie's body was unable to take the stress and she dies. The next day, Kinsey goes to Gabe's house and she distracts him and the other demons, giving Tyler, Duncan, and Scott time to sneak in to steal the demon key. Kinsey, using the Angel key, grabs the crown from Gabe as the rest of the demons go after them. Tyler uses the Alpha key and Scott uses the Hercules key. He is able to push them back as Duncan tries to get in the vault, but they are overpowered. This is when Duncan discovers that as the creator of the demon key, he can control the demons, and he turns them against Dodge. And Dodge, in order to fight back, destroys the house with a plant key, while the rest of them make their way out. As Dodge and Kinsey fight, Tyler sneaks up on Dodge and kills the demon with the Alpha key, and Kinsey flies out with him. With Dodge being killed, the real Lucas emerges from the wreckage, and being an Echo, he survived the separation from Dodge, and he returns all the stolen keys. Ellie is returned back into her original look, and she reunites with Lucas and goes to Nebraska to be with her son Rufus. Tyler is leaving for a road trip, and he decides not to use the memory key so that he can live a normal life. The Savini squad holds a send-off party for Scott before he leaves for school in England, and Body uses the head key on Nina to show her happy memories of Randall, and Body, knowing her mom wants to remember magic, reveals the memory key and tells her that he won't let her forget. And the second season ends here. Thanks for watching. If you like it, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel.